Okay. So this year, anyway, if I talk like this, I can remove this now. If I come to it. So this year, you have actually only two topics, but both these topics are big topics. And maybe some of the topics will be cancelled, small topics will be cancelled, but they haven't given us the new syllabus. Anyway, we will start. The first major topic is nervous system. Okay. Then there is reproduction. The nervous system, in that one, you have to learn about the parts and one of the sense organ, the eye, and also you have to learn about some hormones, then about some drugs and how the body is controlling, and that all these things are coming under this one. And then next is the reproduction, about the sexual and sexual reproduction in plants and animals. So these are the two major topics. Okay. So we will start with nervous system. Have you heard of nervous system? What does it do?
It's nerves.
It's nerves only, nothing else. What is the function?
Send signals.
Yeah, all these are correct. It consists of neurons or nerve cell sending some signals, and also it helping for the movement, is it? Actually, we have to just change one word, not helping for the movement, it is to control. Not only movement. We know some movements, major movements like reading, jumping, writing, all those things. Is it running, all these things. But there are others, some other activities or movements are going inside our body. Can you say some activities that is going inside our body? Breathing and circulation of blood, is it? Pumping of heart. So all these are actually controlled by the nervous system. Okay. So nervous system, the main function is controls and coordinates the activities. This is the function. Now we have to learn about the parts. Two major parts are there. It consists of two major parts. Like central, it is divided into two major parts. Central nervous system or CNS, central nervous system, and peripheral nervous system. That is PNS. Okay, so nervous system consists of, or it is divided into two parts, CNS and PNS. Okay. Central nervous system has, again, it has two parts. Brain and spinal cord. Okay. And peripheral nervous system consists of two parts, sense organs and neurons. Neurons means nerve cell. I will explain each of them. You have to, about each of them you have to learn. Okay. So these are the main parts. Got it? The function, it controls and coordinates, and the main parts are central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. And central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. Peripheral nervous system consists of sense organs and neurons. What about these two organs? Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
Brain, of course you know it. Is it? What about the spinal cord? Where is it located? On the back, like inside the backbone, is it? Actually, it is a continuation of brain. If brain is that one, it's a continuation of brain. That is the spinal cord. Got it? Both of them together, they are controlling all the activities and coordinating all the activities. And then about the peripheral nervous system, one is sense organs. The word meaning of peripheral means outside. How do you know about the outside world? using your sense organs. Is it? Just think, whatever feeling, whatever is there, we are sensing the outside world using our sense organs. Is it? How many sense organs do we have? 5. Eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. Skin is one of the biggest organ. Okay, so these are the sense organs. It is also a part of nervous system, and then the nerves. Okay, now we will learn how the things are controlled and coordinated. Okay, for example, suppose, and neurons also, I will just give that also. Neurons are of 3 types, that also we will write, and then I'll give you the functions. Sensory neurons and relay neurons and motor neurons. These are the 3 types of neurons. Okay. Now, I'll give you the notes. Okay. Suppose you are, now I'm telling you, I'll give you the notes, or I'm telling you just to open your textbook. You are hearing the instruction with your ears, is it?
Yes.
You are getting the sound. And that sound is going to the brain. Okay? And just hearing it and going to the brain does not make the action. To get the book, what you have to do? You have to move, is it?
Yes.
Means your hands must move. Then only you can pick the book from the bag. So that must be, for the movement, we need muscles and bones. Yes or no?
Yes.
Just, did you get it?
Yeah.
You are hearing the instruction through your ears, and that sound is going to the brain, and then the brain will send another message to your hand, muscles and bones, especially muscles, because muscles are pulling the bones. You know, bones cannot have its own movement.
Yes.
Bones are moved because of the muscles. Muscles are attached, muscles will pull them. So the message is going to the muscle so that the muscles can work. Muscles and bones can work together for the movement. So how many things are involved in this one? Sense organ, is it? Yeah, sense organ, and then the brain, is it? Then the muscles. These are the 3 major things, muscles and bones, is it? Now, how the message is going from the ear to the brain? This is by the nerve cell. Okay, so from the sense organs, how the message is going to the brain? It is going to the CNS. I will not write brain, I will say CNS, because there is a reason that I will tell you. Who is carrying the message to CNS is sensory neuron. So is it easy to remember? The message from the sense organ is carried to the CNS by sensory neuron. Okay? Now, from there, it is going to the muscles. So, who will be sending, or who is carrying the message from the CNS to the muscles?
Motor.
Motor neuron.
Motor or the motor?
Motor neuron. M-O-T-O-R. So, did you get the function of both of them?
Yes.
Sensory neuron is carrying the message from the sense organs to the CNS, and from the CNS, motor neuron carries the message, that is the message for action, to muscles. Did you get it? Now, what is the function of relay neuron? Relay neuron is connecting both of them. Yes, sensory and motor neuron, both of them are connected by means of relay neuron. So can you tell me where you can see the relay neuron? Where the sensory neuron, one end is at sense organ, another end is in the CNS. Is it? Because this is carrying message here and another message is going from here. So how both of them are connected in the CNS. So the relay neurons are present in the CNS. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. So the function of sensory neuron, motor neuron and relay neuron. That you got it.
Yes.
Now, sometimes I told you we have 5 sense organs. One of the sense organ is skin.
Yeah.
Okay. So brain is here. Wherever in our body, if there is any change, suppose somebody is touching here or squeezing here, okay, that is also who is carrying the message? Which neuron? Sensory neuron is carrying the message to brain. Okay, this is because all over the body we have some special cells known as receptors. Receptor means those who are receiving. Okay, we have pain receptors. That is why whenever there is a pain, the brain sends it. We have pain receptors, pressure receptors, temperature receptors. So many receptors are there. What kind of receptors you can see in the eyes?
Sight.
Light receptors. What kind of receptors you can see in the ears? Sound receptors. Okay, and nose and tongue, it contains chemical receptors, like smell receptors, and the other receptors are present all over the body. Got it? So all these receptors, so instead of sense organ we can write another name. What we will write? Receptors. So from the receptors, sensory neurons, they are carrying the message. Sense organs are actually receptors. They are group of receptor cells. These are cells only. They are organs. Got the difference? These cells, group of receptor cells, together they are making an organ that are sense organs. Group of light receptors, together they make eye. Inside the eye, you have to learn about the structure of eye. Okay. Group of sound receptors, they are present in the ears. Group of smell receptors, olfactory receptors present in the nose. Chemical receptors present in the mouth, like in the tongue. So, group of sense organs are groups of receptor cells. Is it clear?
So, miss, if somebody's pain receptors are bad, like they don't
Then,
feel
yeah.
pain, they won't be able to feel pain at all.
No, there is a disease like these receptors, pain receptors, or all these receptors are not working, like pain, pressure, temperature, all this. That I think that disease is eradicated from the world. Just not if some, but those who are even in coma stage also, maybe they won't be able to talk, but maybe they are, yeah, their receptors are working, so they can feel all those things. Okay, but a normal person, mostly all receptors will be working. In some diseases, some receptors are not working.
So, miss, those, for example, someone gets in a crash and something happens to their nose, and then they can't smell anymore. This is because of the receptor.
Yeah, maybe. And they say those who have corona, they are just losing that ability to smell and taste. No, maybe the receptors are like temporarily it is not working. Okay, this is a symptom of corona, COVID they are telling, it is a symptom. If you are not able to smell something, if you are not able to feel like taste something, okay, that is also a symptom of COVID. So is it clear? Function, okay, consists of two parts. Is it clear? First part, CNS, brain and spinal cord, PNS, sense organs and neurons. Okay, then the neurons are of three types: sensory, relay and motor. That also you got it.
Yeah.
Then how they are connected from the receptors, the stimulus. Stimulus means any change in the surroundings. Anything. If the outside is very hot, it's a stimulus. So the temperature receptors all over the body will pick up that stimulus, and then it will give, the sensory neuron will send the message to brain, and the brain will send a message to your muscles in the legs that better to move from that place because it is hot. Understood? So suppose in any person, if motor neuron is not working, what will happen?
They can control. They don't feel numb.
Yes, they know this one. Is it? This process will be happening there. Their brain is receiving things, but what will happen? The action will not be happened. Did you get it? This is what I am telling. Maybe coma state, those who are paralyzed persons, no? Maybe their sensory neurons are working, they are getting everything, but the motor neuron is not working.
Unless when you're scared and they tell you to move, your brain tells you to move.
That is coming. Okay, that will be coming. Now, so sensory neuron, one end is attached to receptors, another end is attached to CNS. Relay neuron, one end here, is it? Relay neuron, one end is to this side, one end is to motor. And motor neuron, one end is to brain, another end is to muscles. So she asked a question. She said, suppose we are scared. Okay, we have some changes in the body. Our like heart will beat faster, is it? And also we will sweat a lot, and temperature will be more. All these things because of some hormones produced in the body. Okay, these hormones you have to learn. These hormones are some chemicals, and they are produced from some glands. So we can add here glands. Okay, motor neuron, because when we are seeing a lion, the light receptors in the eyes will send a message through the sensory neuron to the brain that you are in a fearful situation. Is it? So immediately the CNS will send a message to muscles in the leg and also to the glands, so that the leg muscles, they will take more oxygen and more food, so they will be producing more energy, getting ready to run fast. Okay, and the glands will produce these hormones so that your pupil will be like dilated.
Yeah.
And also your breathing will be faster, heart beats faster, all these changes will happen. So is it clear?
That means what if that person can't move when they're so scared? Why?
Nothing. That cannot be, because the motor neuron is not working. So he has to be in that situation. Understood? Okay. Now, in some situations, I think I explained it to some of them. Suppose you are touching something very hot. This happens usually to me. Always the cooker will be there. I won't even like care for that one. Sometimes somewhere it touches. So what will happen? Immediately we will take out our hand, is it? Then only we will check what has happened. This kind of actions, we call it as reflex actions. So where are you at here? Reflex actions. Okay. Do you have your textbook?
Yes.
Okay. So please open the textbook. Page number 162. So this is the structure of a motor neuron. Okay, and you can see the parts are there, but in your syllabus you have to just identify the neurons. You don't have to study more about that one. So please open the next page, page 164. You can see the different types of neurons. Have you seen?
Yes.
Okay. See this. This is the sensory neuron, and next is the motor neuron and the relay neuron. Can you find the difference between them and some similarities between the among the three of them?
They all have
All of them are having cell bodies and some branches, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about sensory neuron and motor neuron?
Motor neuron is longer.
Sensory neuron also longer, no?
Motor neuron has the cell at the end and cell at the
Yes,
middle.
motor neuron has the cell body at the end, and sensory neuron has cell body not at the end, is it?
Yes.
And then you can see all these branches. There is a name for that one. Name is dendrite. These dendrites are attached to the cell body here, but here it is not attached to the cell body. There is only one dendrite here. And if you look at the relay neuron, you can see many dendrites, is it? It's easy to identify relay neuron, but this one you must be careful. Motor neuron, always the cell body is at one end. Is it clear?
Yes.
Now, how these messages are passing? When you type a message, you are using either Arabic or English, is it? But how these neurons are, how the messages are passing through the neurons to everywhere in the body. You know how? It is through electrical signals. Okay? You cannot compare with that electricity, conventional current, what you are learning in physics. But this is also because of some difference in charges. There is we need some sodium ions, potassium ions, calcium ions, all this for the nerve impulse transmission. So that message we call it as nerve impulse. Got it?
Yeah.
So the messages that are passing through the sensory neuron, relay neuron and motor neuron, we call them as nerve impulse. Maybe you might have heard some people, those who are like behaving very mad, but actually they are not mad, but sometimes they behave madly, and maybe you heard their sodium level is low. When our sodium level becomes low, all this message transmission will be in problem. So we won't get a balance, we won't be knowing what we are doing, lot of problems will be arising. These days I am hearing a lot of incidents like that, becoming sodium level is getting low. So maybe because of the food habits. If we eat like banana, no, raw banana, all this, we will get lot of sodium. Some sodium we need for the proper impulse transmission. So did you get that word also? Nerve impulse means the messages that are passing through the neurons. Okay. Now, if you look at page 163, figure 13.4. This is a representation of a reflex action.
Which page?
Page 163. Okay. Representation of a reflex action. Have you seen? Look at here. This is the impulse, stimulus. Have you seen? Here, what is happening here?
The muscle is contracted.
No, here, this one.
The hand touches the hot plate.
Yes, the hand touches a hot plate, is it? So who is picking up that stimulus? The pain receptors are picking up that stimulus. Got it?
Yeah.
The hand is touching a hot plate, so the pain receptors are picking up that stimulus. And then who is carrying the stimulus? The sensory, you can see the direction, is it? The sensory neuron is carrying that message. Have you seen? And then you can see it is, did you see another one? Cell body of sensory neuron. Have you seen? It is not at one end. It is somewhere in the middle.
Yes.
Then it is entering where? This message is going to
CNS.
CNS. But which part of CNS? Spinal cord. Did you see? It is going to spinal cord. That means this action is not taking the time even to travel to brain. It is, the message is going only till here, immediately the action is carried out. That is why in reflex action, we will come to know what has happened only after the action. Is it? So here the sensory neuron is passing the message nerve impulse to the spinal cord, and then in the spinal cord the message is picked up by whom? Which neuron? Relay neuron. And from the relay neuron, who is picking up the action impulse, the action message? Motor neuron. You can see that arrow. And then it is connected to whom? The muscles, is it?
Yeah.
So that the muscle will pull the bone, so we will pull out our hand. Is it clear?
Yeah.
So in a reflex action, what all things are there? The receptor, sensory neuron, relay neuron, which is present in the CNS, motor neuron, and the muscles. Okay, so this is this pathway, we call it as reflex arc. Pathway of a reflex action, we call it as reflex arc. And then you can see here schematic representation of a reflex arc. Have you seen? The first one is receptors, then it is going to sensory neuron, then relay neuron, then motor neuron, then finally effector. So which are the effectors? Effectors are muscles. Here the muscles and also glands together, we can say both of them are effectors. Is it clear?
Yes.
So you learn, I know last class I had just a revision only. Okay, I gave a revision of last class, and these are the two new topics, reflex action and reflex arc. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, so I just check what is the time, and I don't know, you can enter the online platform.
Yes.
You can enter, no? So if the notes are not, some of you, if you have not written the notes, either you can copy from your friends or I will upload the notes. Okay, for these 2 days or these 2 weeks notes I will upload it, so you can copy from that one for the online students. The next week onwards I will write on the board, so the online, those who are in the online, they can also write from the board. Then if there is time, I will give synapse also, because it is also important.
You will upload the class also or only notes?
Sorry?
You will upload the class also, the lesson or only
Yeah,
the notes?
the lesson I will upload for online students, because now we are just checking how it can be, whether it will be worked or not. They said next week we can upload, but this week I will be checking it. If it is possible, then this one. Okay. Now, we will move on to just a small topic also. Okay. This. Okay. What is it? Synapse. Okay. It is known as synapse. I will explain that also. Can you say what all things are there in the synapse? From the picture.
Sensory neuron.
Sensory neuron.
Relay neuron.
Relay neuron. Okay. Then we learned one message, even one message has to pass. How many neurons must involve?
3.
3 neurons, is it? One neuron is picking up from the receptor, then it gives to the relay neuron, then it gives to the motor neuron. Is it? You know that I told you this is just like electricity. Okay, passing because of the difference in charges. If there is any break in electric circuit, will it work? It will not work, is it? But you can see here in the picture, these neurons, they are not physically connected. Have you seen the small gap here?
Yes.
Okay. So the neurons, they are not physically connected. There is a small gap between them. So can the message pass properly? Okay. To overcome this one, there is something produced here. Can you read what is there? Did you see like a spotted particles? Some particles. What is the name written there? Neurotransmitter. Okay. They are neurotransmitter substances. They are some chemicals which will act as a bridge between one neuron to next neuron. Is it clear? When the impulse comes from sensory neuron to relay neuron, both of them are not connected. Okay? So at the end of sensory neuron, there are some small bubble-like structures. From there, these chemicals will be released. Okay? From here, from the sensory neuron, you know always the direction is from sensory to whom? To relay, then to motor. Is it possible to come back? First motor, then relay, then sensory? No, because first we must get the receptors or the stimulus is picked from the receptors only by sensory. Motor can do only the actions. Action messages only can be passed. Okay. So once the message impulse reaches at the end of sensory neuron, and here is the relay neuron like this. Okay, there are branches. There is some gap between them. So how this message can come to this one, jump to this relay neuron? There are some substances known as neurotransmitters. Okay, these substances will pick up the image, pick up the message. Okay, from the sensory neuron, the neurotransmitters will pick up the message and then it will give it to whom? Relay neuron. Is it clear?
Yes.
And from the relay neuron, once the message reaches the end of relay neuron, again the neurotransmitters will be released and they will pick the message and give it to motor neuron. Is it clear?
Yes.
And when it reaches even the muscles also it happens. The neurotransmitters will be released and then it will be given. There are different kinds of neurotransmitters. It is known as dopamine, acetyl. Some people, maybe they will have some hallucinations. Like they will say some people are standing there or maybe they are going to kill us. Something like that, no? This all because of these neurotransmitter problems. So they will be given those medicines, dopamine, serotonin, all these medicines.
This thing I have, it's when you feel like there's insects all over your body and on your skin. You know that? It happens in the middle of the night. It's a hallucination.
Yeah, it's a kind of hallucination. Sometimes we feel it, like doctors will be giving these neurotransmitters because to make the nerve impulse transmission proper. Got it? So that junction between two neurons, we call it as synapses. Okay? So what all things will be in the synapses? End of one neuron, is it? Starting of another neuron, and there is a small gap. You can see they are not touching each other. And then there are some neurotransmitters which is picking up this impulse and then giving it to the next one. Got it? This is the simple thing. If you opt biology in higher grades only, grade 12, you have to learn more about this, how it is transmitted and all. It is not so, as you see, it is so easy, but it is not so easy. All these things, it contains many, like enzymes, many instructions, many, like brain has to control many things. So all these things are very complicated procedures. Is it clear? So you wrote about the types of neurons, is it?
Yes.
Some of you have written about the function of nervous system, types of neurons, is it?
Yes.
But I think you haven't written about the reflex action, reflex arc and synapses.
Yes.
So I'll do one thing. Today I will give you those notes. Those who have not written, you can leave a page. Yesterday's notes. For yesterday's note, you can leave a page and then you start today's. Okay? Just 3 things only. Yeah, new page. You have written about the types of neurons, sense organ, all, is it? Sense organs also you wrote.
Yes.
Yes. Now, next page. And you, I think I gave one homework also.
Yes. We go.
Draw the 3 types of neurons. Now, we will write about these things. Question 1. Okay, next page you can do. Define. I don't know whether they are- okay. Define a reflex actions. Okay. Fast automatic response. The pathway along which and the pathway is have a homework. Draw figure 13.8. Page 65.